know this is true for me, and I'm guessing it's probably true for you as well. But if you're an artist, you have to be a self-starter.
Yes.
There, there is no one with the whip cracking it on you. You have to be smacking yourself to get started.
Yeah,
Would you agree
deadlines
with
can
that?
kind of help. Deadlines can kind of help with that, keeping that momentum. But I would say every day there is a point at about because my schedule is so weird right now. But like I usually don't start working until 1
Okay.
p.m., which is why I usually don't stop working until like 10 p.m. But anyway, there is a point where I'm just staring at the screen like, okay, when am I gonna start making lines happen? Like there is this weird moment when staring at a blank page where it's just like, I don't know how this is going to turn into what I want, what I imagine. It helps to have a process. Uh, it helps to have kind of a routine, but you also want to be careful of the routine too, because that can become sometimes it can become more of a hindrance than a help after a while. But nevertheless, having some kind of go-to, when you need to get moving. I
What
mean,
are
that's
what are
just
some of your go-tos? That's what I'm curious to know that because I know I have a couple.
it used to be caffeine, and then I have recently found that caffeine was not great for my health, so I can't rely on that anymore.
Fair enough.
I'm making it more about like having music. Like once I start music up and having good, like having some kind of music that's good for my blood flow gets me kind of pumped up or whatever. That helps. And that changes. There was like a good couple of months where I would basically when I started working was also happened to be when the Dave Ramsey show went live, and so there was like a couple of months where I was listening to the Dave Ramsey show because I was just interested in learning about finance, which is a complete other topic for artists or whatever. Very useful,
I've
to
never
listen to
even
that
heard of
show.
him. I'm not sure. I'm not sure who he is.
Yeah, he's most popular for helping people deal with like debt.
Okay.
So he has like a whole program that he gets people on like solving their debt issues, whether that's student loan debt, house debt, whatever, credit card,
Mm.
whatever. But he has really good sound financial advice, and it's sort of like approaching it from a very bare bones basic sort of you start here and you move up and up and up your priority list. And his whole concept is sort of like you create like an avalanche of solving your debt problems by starting from the smallest and working to the biggest. I'll leave it at that. But anyway, yeah, so anyway, there was a couple of months where I did that, and that for whatever reason got my brain into the like I'm going to start working mode because and I think it might have something to do with because I've noticed this when I do listen to radio shows in general. Something about the idea of somebody knowing that somebody else is at work at the same time I'm at work gets my brain into that mode of like, all right, it's time to do stuff.
Like a
Um,
competitive mode?
it's not a competitive thing. It's like I don't know, like back when we were at SCAD, when you were in like a classroom scenario and other people were working at the same time, it
Yeah.
kind of is like that energy of like everybody's working, so like your gears
The
are naturally turning.
atmosphere.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like a communal vibe that kind of is not because we're creating, but it is created by the energy or like the vibes of everybody in the room. Like you can feel it. Like and one person can completely derail that entire thing. Or if you have somebody who's just
Yeah.
trying to be a class clown or something and everybody else is trying to work, they get one person to laugh and then it can break everybody else in the room. I know
Exactly.
exactly what you're talking about. But
And
if
so
everybody's kind of like honed in, it's like easier for you to be like, "Oh,
yes.
okay, we're all doing something. I got you now.
So
Okay.
like if I want to start myself working at night, like if I have a late night because I haven't quite finished something, if Coast to Coast AM is on, which usually doesn't start until midnight, but if it's that kind of night where I'm working late, I'm putting on Coast to Coast AM because that runs from midnight to usually 4 a.m. So
Wow.
it's a good 4 hours of like,
Yeah.
paranormal talk show type stuff. And that all automatically will keep my brain like in a weird space anyway, because it's odd topics. It's stuff that I'm gonna be pondering about through the rest of the night because I'm like, oh, is that true or is that real or whatever. But yeah, for me, it's been a great way of getting started is to have some kind of live program to listen to. So because
Mm.
it doesn't take up all my attention, it only takes up enough of the part of my brain that wants to be distracted from work, basically.
Yes.
And
And
I
you
think
have to find a
that's
balance of that too.
yeah, it's totally a balancing act because like I think that's part of that difficulty of getting started. That procrastination cycle is like when you start, when you want to start, I feel like generally most people's brains have like this distraction cycle where it's like, okay, but wait, first, let me check Twitter, let me check,
Yeah.
oh, do I need to go to the bathroom? Did I eat? Well, it's like kind of
Yeah.
running through some of it's BS and some of it's, legitimate. But yeah, definitely making sure that particular monkey in the cage is like, got something to play with, something to do.
I am susceptible to the whole Facebook social media. Let me check a website. Oh, let me see that new trailer on YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, did they put out a different trailer? This is the wrong trailer. Oh, like that kind of thing will suck me in and immediately. I've found in terms of starting my day, the number one thing, and this kind of goes towards the not being distracted thing, and also I think kind of what you were talking about with um, the guy's podcast where he was like solve like one small piece of debt or whatever first. But
Yeah.
for me, it's about having clean surroundings. I
Oh,
cannot
yeah.
sit. I cannot even start if my desk has not been straightened out, cleared, thrown away. Like the soda cans from last night are been cleared away. The tissues are tossed in the garbage. The vacuum, like even the rug underneath my desk has to be vacuumed. Like I'll light a candle, maybe get the a scent going or something that will keep me focused. I know cinnamon is supposed to be like a focus scent. Um, the
Interesting. I didn't
lighting's
know.
it's granted it's still procrastination, but the lighting has to be right for me. So if like the overheads are killing me, I gotta put on just like the desk lamp with the soft white.
I'm
um
similar. Yeah, I relate to that a lot.
and the
Cause
heat,
yeah,
the
the
temperature of the room
heat's a
is
big
like one
one.
of the biggest things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause if I'm uncomfortable, like at
Hmm.
all, my brain will just be like, well, gotta figure that thing out. Gotta.
Yeah, it's distracting, and that's the thing that I think is the number one problem everybody has, is that there's so many things fighting for your attention at any given moment, whether it's your to-do list for the week, the weekend, the day, whatever. um you really got to make sure that you have as many limited distractions as possible.